for the 3 points. Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
Oh yes, football fans, what's up? We are back after a long break. This is the Football Therapist. I'm your host, Rami Mghanni. I've got Haytham and Yehia here. Guys, I missed this. We're
Great
finally
to be back.
So we got a lot to talk about. Today we're at Yehia's place actually, hence the Liverpool scarves on the table. And Yehia has a cat, so you may hear some meowing. And that's why Haytham's wearing a mask as well, because he's highly allergic to cats. So this is going to be an interesting episode, I think.
It's going to be so much fun.
Is your cat going to interrupt us?
Yeah, which will be an upgrade.
I hope not. Well, if you guys hear a little sniffles from me or some sneezes or some coughing, that's the cat's fault.
It's okay, I'll give you one of the scarves.
So we've got antihistamines, we've got everything ready.
Yeah, and scarves, apparently. That'll be my kryptonite from the cat.
So yeah, like I said, we've been off for a
Terrible
couple. We've been off for a couple of weeks, and
Have we?
Yeah, we have, and I actually missed it. So I've been moving houses. Yahia's been moving houses. Haytham has been looking for houses, and we've all just been super busy.
Yeah.
But being off for these 3 weeks or so, a lot has been happening. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to cover everything, but we will cover the really interesting stuff. As usual, we're going to jump in with a few snapshots. So with the leagues, just what's been happening so far. EPL, Tottenham and Liverpool tied at the top. It's getting hot. Chelsea are 2 points behind. So your prediction about Tottenham vying for the title this year is actually starting to take shape. But then again, we know with the EPL, these things can change in a heartbeat. We're talking about Everton. They're nowhere in sight right now. They're having a really bad couple games. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to pan out. In La Liga, Atletico leading Sociedad by 1 point, but they've got 2 games in hand. Atletico are just steamrolling, and they're the ones who basically, if you look at it now, Atletico, it's theirs to lose. It's still early days, but they're really doing so well so far. Real are 4th. Atletico have a game in hand over Real, and they're 6 points ahead of them. So it's really going to be tough to catch them. Barca, no need to discuss that. They're 9th, 12 points off the top. It's just it's going off with them. So
Yeah.
But I mean, Koeman knows the Barca way, right?
Supposedly he does.
Yeah.
But it's not working, is it?
But the Barca way.
But Messi's supposed to carry the team forward, no?
Yeah,
/sarcasm.
exactly. I mean, he's like the best player in the world, but he's unable to carry a mediocre team to first anymore, though. I should say anymore, because that's what he did last year.
Okay, I think a lot of Barcelona fans are going to be upset.
I was reading
to this.
I was reading something saying, I can't remember who said it, but someone was like, if we win silverware this year, Messi's going to stay. He's not staying.
Isn't Messi leaving in January anyway? They just admitted they don't have money.
I have no idea. So yeah, that's for La Liga. Serie A. AC Milan are maintaining that 5-point lead at the top ahead of Inter, and 6 points ahead of Napoli and Juve, who are tied. So that's still not really far ahead. That's still got a lot of action coming up for them to play it out. Yeah. Anything you want to say about that? You're good.
Well, so we're at a point where we're 10 games into the league, and that's where you can sort of see the initial patterns or tactical establishments in each of the sides. If I had to put my money on someone like I did in the previous episode about mentioning Tottenham in the Premier League, I have my money on Napoli putting on a very strong challenge. I think Gattuso has a really good squad. I think the way he's managing them and taking care of them and giving the players confidence, I think he has something up his sleeve, and he has the full support of the management. The players are behind him, and slowly but surely, I think they're gonna compete for the top 2 spots.
But you know what, 5-6 points at this stage is really nothing.
For some reason, I don't trust. Yeah, for some reason, I don't. Although AC Milan are playing well, for some reason I don't trust them. I see them slipping up. Inter, I see them slipping up. Juventus. Despite them rediscovering their form. If you talked to me 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, Juventus are nowhere near the top. But after the Torino win in the derby in the last moment, and Juventus played very poorly in the first half and part of this and much of the second half as well. The win against Barcelona has really rekindled their confidence, and it's a very, I think this is a crucial point in Pirlo's tenure, 10 games into the league, a good win in the Champions League, 15 points in the group. So let's see what happens after this. I think this is the point.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Champions League a little bit, but I must say, I stayed up for that game. I really wanted to see what could be the final battle between the two GOATs, obviously.
Absolutely.
But really, as fun as that was, hats off to Weston McKennie on that volley. That was beautiful.
Honestly, when Juventus signed Weston McKennie, I had no clue about him. And I mean, I don't know if this has any. I don't think this is really a relevant point, but Schalke right now are a complete mess of a club. They're bottom of the Bundesliga, on a side note. But yeah, I mean, he really has been one of our best signings, if not the best Juventus player in this season, along with Alvaro Morata, who's also been amazing, apart from his offside goals. But you could dedicate an entire podcast to
but in
Morata's
Morata's like the lead goal scorer in the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
So even if with the offside goals not being counted, he's still doing well.
Yeah.
No, I think he's really found his feet at Juventus, and he's found his environment. And I've always said that I think he should have always stayed with us, but. Unbiased opinion.
Yeah, but the Real Madrid fan in me will tell you though that just beware for the consistency, because like he tends to drop off when we need him. So I hope he doesn't.
He was more or less like that in his first Juventus stint. There were times where he'd drop off and times where he was just like a 9 out of 10, match performance.
So yeah, Serie A.
I'm proud to say that day I've missed each and every goal. Because every time I'd switch the channel to another game, because it was the United game at the same time, and they were both high scoring. It's Real Madrid has scored, or whatever, Juve has scored. Switch to Juve. Oh, United, there's a goal against them. Switch there. Oh, Juve just scored the second goal. Switch. So I missed practically all of the goals.
Oh, the PSG game is just getting called off because
exactly the PSG game. I missed everything. I don't know what happened that day because I was switching through channels.
Yeah, you just gotta eventually just stick to one and look at your phone.
But that's the good thing about it. There was so many good games that day.
Yeah, it was such an exciting round.
It was like you had the PSG stuff. You had then Juve versus Barcelona with Messi versus Ronaldo, and then just United imploding. And then suddenly, giving
he just
hope.
wants to say that.
No, but honestly, at some point they gave hope again. Like they got 2 goals in 5 minutes or something like that. And then they still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
It was such a good day. The games that day were amazing.
So that's why I think for this episode, we're just going to wrap up the leagues really quickly, and we're going to get into the Champions League because that's really where all the action was. So wrapping up the leagues, we'll just say this. Bundesliga, Bayern are leading. But Leverkusen, Leipzig, and Dortmund, all 4 teams within 4 points of each other. So even the Bundesliga is getting quite interesting, quite active. And League One, where PSG were way ahead, they dropped points against Bordeaux and Monaco on a Cesc Fabregas penalty, and now they're just 2 points ahead of Lille and Lyon. So leagues are shaping up. It's interesting, and that's what usually you like to see at this stage of the season. But as we just mentioned, the real action that was in the Champions League. So let's jump into that. So first of all, really exciting wrap up to the group stages. So the teams qualified in first place: Bayern, Real, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Dortmund, Juve, and PSG. And in second place, Atletico, Gladbach, Porto, Atalanta, Sevilla, Lazio, Barcelona, and Leipzig. So really, really cool names in there. And so one thing I want to see is Yehia, who were you most actually impressed by? Because not our teams, from the other teams, who were you really impressed by? Gladbach.
I was really impressed with them. That group was extremely difficult.
It was a difficult group, obviously.
And it turns out they did enough in the 5th game to just qualify. They lost to Madrid and they still qualified.
That was a really nice scene at the end of the game because they were playing away to Madrid, so they were in the Alfredo Di Stefano, and they had just lost 2-0, and the Inter game hadn't finished yet, and there was a shot of them just. Even though they just lost 2-0, crowded around this iPad watching the game, and then when
was
the ref,
it an iPad?
Something like a small screen or something, and then the ref blew the whistle, and they were just celebrating because I don't think they've ever qualified to the round of 16.
No, and actually, I'm not sure if this is the first time. I doubt it is, but you have all four German teams have actually qualified from the group stages.
Yeah.
So in England, thanks to United, that's not going to happen. I don't know about Spain. Did all four from Spain?
All four did. So Sevilla qualified, Atletico, Barca, and Real.
And
for your United comment, I'll raise you an Inter.
Also Inter screwed it up for Italy.
Yeah. Sorry, Inter fans listening.
You shouldn't be sorry they screwed it up. Last in the group, it's Inter Milan.
They did mess it up. I mean, Antonio Conte has a track record for this. So you can ask a seasoned Juventus fan like myself, where Conte needed a 1-0 win against Benfica in the semi-final of the Europa League. By the way, the final of that Europa League season, I think in 2014, was going to be in Torino. Was in Torino at the time. So we would... If Juventus qualified, they would have won it they would have competed in the final on home turf. But anyhow, they couldn't beat Benfica.
Conte was just doing us a favor because he knew that, if the finals in Torino, it would be too much.
Also, today is the 1-year anniversary of that loss to Galatasaray.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was also that. Juventus needed to beat Galatasaray to qualify as well, and that also lost there. So he has a track record in that regard. And honestly, I was very excited by Inter, by Conte under Inter. And we saw a lot of flashes of brilliance. We saw a lot of it this year also in Serie A. But
in this place, I don't something went wrong. Yeah. Definitely. And we're going to touch on that. I think we're going to dig into this group. We'll wrap up the episode talking about this group because this group was the only one that really had to go down to the wire, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll top on that. Was there any of the teams that impressed you specifically?
I'm gonna be the hipster again and say Atalanta. I mean, I didn't expect them to beat Ajax. I didn't expect them to beat Liverpool previously.
It's fine. We were playing the kids.
Yeah, really, were they kids? I mean, I saw a decent starting 11.
No. It's basically
it was the bench team, fine, but fair enough. But still, a 2-0 away at Anfield
it's impressive.
pretty impressive, bro.
It is.
For me, other than the 5-0 loss to United, Leipzig, I thought they did quite well. They were fun. Like I didn't watch all their games, but from the ones that I watched, I really liked what I saw. I
can't pronounce their striker's name. He's Hungarian, but is he that? That's striker, the Szoboszlai.
Yeah. So everyone and now everyone's after him.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like Real Madrid, Barcelona,
really good striker. And by the way, in the international break, he qualified his country to the Euros.
So there's some really cool potential matchups in the round of 16. Because you mentioned, from the same country, you've got a lot of players and a lot of teams. And you can't play against the teams who were in your group. The matchups are kind of more defined. So for example, I know for Real, since they can't play any of the other three Spanish teams and they can't play against Gladbach, they're limited to playing against either Atalanta, Lazio, Porto, or Leipzig.
Wow.
And those are all really cool matchups.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool too.
I'm honestly I fear the Spanish sides the most. So I think Atletico were second, right?
Atletico were second.
And Seville. So if Juventus face either side,
you could face.
Most probably. I would fear those two sides the most because they give us a lot of trouble. I don't want to face those two sides.
I don't think I can take another. I don't think I can take another Atletico game.
Are you worried against any specific team to play in second?
I mean, honestly, I'm not worried. It just comes down to injuries. It's just I don't want to go through another Atletico game just because I hate. As much as I admire what Simone is doing with, I can't really say the resources because he spends a lot. Mm-hmm. But as much as I admire what he's doing, I hate watching his team play. It's just so. If you're
Me too.
If you're an Atletico fan, it's probably fun to watch them.
Be the odd one out and say not me too. I really admire the way they play.
I really admire them, but I hate watching them.
Reminds me of old classic Italian kind of catenaccio style. I mean, he doesn't play catenaccio.
That's even worse.
I can't say it. I'm sorry. I can't. By
it's like
what's the word? By virtue, I cannot say it.
I think he's basically taking the most extreme version of Mourinho teams and making it the normal. Which is so boring to watch.
So we're talking about all these teams. Have you noticed the team that was missing in all this discussion? And Manchester United. So that was so we a couple of episodes back we discussed about this group being tough, being
and
tough
expecting
to
United to not qualify.
And we had there was that idea of like United might actually not
But it
qualify.
wasn't an idea. It was like I would have bet on it if I was a betting man.
But then 4 game weeks in,
Yeah, I actually started to get worried. I'm not gonna lie. I started getting a bit worried.
Okay, so here's what they beat PSG. They steamrolled Leipzig 5-0.
Yep.
They lost to Basaksehir in that really horrible game, but then they got their revenge on them. So they were 4 games in with 9 points.
Yeah.
And then they went and lost 2 games straight, right? Yeah. So a couple of weeks back, you had mentioned about Ole. It's Ole. He has to go. Yeah. You still feel that, or do the players have to take the responsibility?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think more so Ole has to go.
You don't think someone like Paul Pogba should be stepping up in a situation like this?
Paul Pogba really needs to step up. I mean, I don't understand. Like, I saw some highlights of like a Premier League game a couple of weeks back, and his passing is just all over the place.
All over the place. Like, yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, man. Like,
and his agent is coming out and stirring up throat, saying like he's not going to get through, and
that's
what a leader does.
And his agent is coming up and saying that he might come to Juve, and all the media is saying that he might come to Juve. So
from what little I watched of it, to me it looked like the only 2 players putting in the really not putting in the effort. They were all putting in effort, but the ones who really looked like they wanted it were Fernandes when he came on and Mason Greenwood. Yeah. Everyone else just looked like them. they were top of the world. They did not look like they were a team in crisis.
Fernandes really stands out whenever he plays with them. Whether he comes on as a sub or he starts, like he really is a kind of player that's set apart from everyone else in terms of talent and in terms of his intelligence, his passing, his moves, the way he shields the ball. He's a joy to watch, by the way. But yeah, I don't really see anyone else as effective as he is.
He's very influential to this team.
Very,
honestly.
Very.
Yeah.
Sorry, Yehia.
No, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the players are. It's because, look, let's look at this. Maguire. Very, very simply. Why was he good at Leicester is because Leicester, when he was there, played a relatively... not a low block, but they didn't play as much as a high line, and all Maguire had to do was basically just stay in his position and just make sure that any ball that comes his way he just gets it, right? Now instead what he's doing is that he's required to run from the halfway line, run back because they're playing a super high line in United for some bizarre reason, and you expect Maguire to run and get the ball. Of course he won't get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, okay, you have Maguire, you have Pogba, you have other players that don't really fit what Ole is trying to do. So even if you get rid of Ole and you get another manager, it still comes down to the recruitment is wrong. And why is the recruitment wrong? Because they don't care about the vision of the club, because the club doesn't have a vision. All they care about is, let me get Pogba. Right now, everybody loves him. He's going to make me a lot of money. He's going to sell a lot of shirts. That's all they care about. They're going to start investing in January a ton of money just to guarantee... Actually, they won't care next year. Because of the contract, it's like if you miss on Champions League 2 years in a row, the sponsorship money goes down. So this January, they won't invest. Summer, they'll invest a ton of money. They'll get rid of Ole, probably get in Pochettino, and then spend a ton of money. Next year, they'll be in the Champions League. Summer after, no spend whatsoever.
Yeah. But if you're going back to the actual football itself, if they're playing this high line and you're expecting Maguire to push up on that high line and and obviously, like you rightly said, he can't cover back so quickly. But if you're playing the system and Maguire is going to push up, so for example, I can talk about Real Madrid. When Ramos decides he wants to bomb forward, you immediately see Casemiro and the left back, whoever it is, converge down and cover that space. So with Maguire, it should be the same thing.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
I'm just giving it as an example.
No, but I don't agree with that example.
I
don't agree with that example because when Ramos goes forward, he's going forward to attack. Maguire is the last defender. He's not even going forward to attack.
Yeah, but so I'm giving the example of if he's going to push up to do that high line.
But then what's the use of Maguire if you need to have another defender to cover him?
Only if he pushes up.
He doesn't. The entire line is pushing up. No, they're playing a high line. Everybody's going up. So it's
that's
him
why
and
they're
whoever is
conceding.
part in. Yes. So it is a tactical issue that they have.
Big time.
It
That's
is.
my point.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with you. It's a tactical issue,
you
but
wanna
it's
put the
not.
highlight, you
It's
gotta
not a
find the
player
solution.
issue. The solution is to change your tactics, or play a player there that suits your tactics, which they're doing neither.
So if Pogba was actually doing what he should do, he still would not.
But right off
he would not
Pogba,
have a
I don't
positive
know.
impact
I don't
on
know
that
why
team.
people still expect
Can I-
Pogba to perform. He's not going to perform for United anymore.
I don't know if anyone can answer this. So in terms of the cover, so let's say, so if Maguire
Yeah.
is pushing forward, where does Nemanja Matic fit into this equation? How effective is he as a defensive midfielder / defender?
But that's the
because
problem,
he has
right?
the qualities of a centre
But
back.
that's the
that
problem.
plays in
He's
midfield.
another slow player. He cannot do that.
Okay.
So if you had a quick, let's say you had Kante.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can get away with it because Kante is relatively quick.
Right.
If you had Fabinho, you can get away with it because he's relatively quick.
Right.
But that's the thing. Matic is another extremely slow player.
Matic is there for his brawn. He's
Exactly.
there to break up the play and to dictate that part.
And
he doesn't have
You're
the
right.
speed.
And by the way, that is why whenever United it performs really well in the big games, because they play very low, not because they want to, but because they just can't get the ball. The other team is much better. So they play very low and they're very good on counterattacks. So why don't they just play a low line and then play on the counterattack?
Yeah, look, I'm agreeing with you. When I see them play that high line, it's painful
It
to
is.
watch, honestly. And it's like, why are you doing this? It's not working. Just change the tactic, you know? And that's where I agree with you. It's Ole who has to take that call. Stop playing the damn high line, you know? Like, tomorrow's the Manchester Derby. It makes me wonder which United are going to show up, because I've seen two different Uniteds over the last, I don't know how many
So
games.
here's the thing. My
There was the win against
expectation.
was it West Ham? Was their last league win, and then there was this Champions League loss. So they are somewhat unpredictable. So
Yeah, they're all...
To be very honest, I expect United to have a very good game, just because they will not be able to get themselves on the ball. City is going to dominate. They're going to be forced to play a low line. And then they're going to play on the counter-attack.
Yeah,
So that's when they usually actually shine and play well.
I don't know.
It's
Kind
an
of-
interesting thought.
That is interesting,
But,
yeah.
but against a team like City, they
But
can't
City
really-
hasn't been their best, actually.
know.
So
Yeah, but they can bring it any minute.
that's true. I mean, if I would bet on it, I would say City would win.
Same here.
But honestly, from the way United has been playing, I think they have a chance to get a draw.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know which United are going to show up tomorrow. There's two different Uniteds I've seen so far this year.
Yeah.
I have no idea which one's going to show up. Staying within the Champions League, I think we can move off from United a bit. So there was a big topic,
Kerfuffle.
that happened. So the whole PSG versus Basaksehir racism row. So obviously, no need to recap on it. Everyone knows what happened. There was something happening on the bench. The Romanian fourth official, told the referee that he wants to send somebody off because I guess somebody was running their mouth. Referee wasn't sure who it was. Asked the fourth official, "Who am I sending off?" And the fourth official told him in Romanian, "Negru," which in Romanian translates to the black guy, because the bench was, they have, I think, 5 Turkish assistant referees and Web-o, who is black.
I believe it was the whole referee setup was Romanian, if I'm not mistaken.
They were. So they were talking Romanian to each other.
Yeah.
So they used the word negru, and obviously, I mean, understandably, it's different in English, right? So Web-o got up in his face, Dembaba got up in his face. Even PSG were supporting Basaksehir and saying, we're not going to continue this game.
Yeah.
We're going to walk off. So it's caused, this whole topic, why I want to touch up on it, because it's caused quite a bit of discussion on social media, on even amongst our friends. We have, the guys that we talk to, the guys, we talk to. And there's a lot of that point of view about, was it as, controversial as it should have been? Was it as bad as it should have been? You have John Barnes, former Liverpool player, right? Who is black, saying, I've been a victim of racism myself. For me, it's not racist for someone to call me a black man, but it's just this misunderstanding of using the word Negro versus Negru versus the black person. Another one of my friends, for example, in Ghana, I told him, I asked him flat out, I said, was this offensive? He told me, if it had said that black guy followed by an insult, it would have been offensive. But just saying the black guy because he couldn't point out the numbers aren't obvious, he doesn't know their names, he didn't find it to be that much. But you also have some other black people saying, no, it's not right. So it's a really interesting topic. I'd love to get you guys' point of view on it. For me, I think there needs to be some kind of education to referees because it's extremely sensitive at this point. Even if you didn't mean anything by it, you have to be sensitive about what you're saying. Even if in your culture and your language it's not a derogatory term, you need to know that like it translates differently in English. That's a whole big topic that you can. It's so many different point of views. I don't think it's.
I think an entire podcast can be dedicated on this subject. But
I wanted to touch up on it because there have been so many cases
Absolutely.
of racism in football, and this one was like the ultimate one, right?
Yeah.
So we had to touch up on it, and just being very respectful to all people. We don't want to step out of line, but it's an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, right off the bat, the referee should not have used the assistant referee should not have used that word, regardless whether it's in his local language or that,
or but even just referring to someone as the color of their skin.
Referring to someone as the color of their skin, exactly. But so having said that, he should have known that he should not use such a term in this sort of regional or continental, let's say, context. And I guess that education or awareness should be there. Do I think he should lose his job and should be banned for life and should be crucified and be called and I don't know what? I think that's too much. But he should know better than not to use such a word. Yeah. I mean, that's all I have to say on it. Absolutely, racism has no place in football or in any context anywhere.
Yeah. I think it's a different case than from when you have fans doing monkey chants or throwing bananas. And
right.
That's just blatant racism.
Again, and there's neither this and there's neither that.
Yeah.
Just elaborating on what you said, and what you said earlier about this topic, I don't think the referee had a bad intention to it. And of course, maybe that's debatable. Okay, I mean, he doesn't have to follow it with an insult. But again, he wasn't... we can't go into the referee's mind and know what he was thinking. I'm not a psychic. But I mean, and neither do I speak Romanian or am I an expert in Romanian. But I don't think he was trying to be malicious in any way. He was just trying to refer to a certain person that was far away, and he used the color of his skin as a reference. And the word phonetically is very similar to a derogatory term in English, somewhat derogatory, or I don't know.
Because what Dembaba was telling him later on, and they caught it on video, is that he said, if you were going to point to one of the white guys, you would say that guy. You wouldn't say that white guy.
That's
point
true.
And say that guy.
And he's right.
But so you have that point of view, and then you have John Barnes' point of view. So.
No, but John Barnes didn't say that what the referee said is okay. I think that basically, just very, very quickly, what he said is wrong, flat out. It might offend people. People find it offensive. You're not in Romania. You're in like Dembaba said, you are in the Champions League. It is an international game. Absolutely. There are certain expectations. The guy shouldn't lose his job, definitely. It's an honest mistake as far as I can tell. But this points towards more work needs to be done internally within UEFA. More sensitivity training needs to happen. It should be extremely clear what you can say, what you cannot say. So I think as let's say a first offense, it's excusable. But that being said, I'm really, really happy with the reaction from the team, where they basically both teams actually, where they basically just refuse to play. Right. Because how many times, like you're saying, the fans do monkey chants, this happened, that happens. How many times have you even seen Balotelli saying, you know what, I don't want to continue, and then his teammates forcing him to continue? But this was finally one time where we saw everybody saying, you know what, screw it. We're not going to continue playing. And I think this needs to become normal in football in general, because if you want to, what's the worst that can happen? Like, the guy gets banned after the game plays and they just say, oh, he's banned from the stadium. But you don't see live anything that happens. You don't see the negative feedback that this is wrong to do.
Right.
As opposed to now, okay, you know what? Everybody that was watching this knows that this is not something that you can say.
Yeah.
regardless of where you are from. And that is the right reaction to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the consequences to the referee, one thing. The reaction to what was said is the right reaction, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So yeah, like Haytham said, you can dedicate a whole episode to this, but I just thought it would be good to touch up on it to kind of see that point of view. We're bound to see what action. Apparently, it's being investigated. We're going to see what action they decide to take on it. I think it's not the last we're going to hear of it. So we'll see what that comes to. We don't have too much time left, so I'm just going to segue right now into our final topic and what we were mentioning before. So the Real Madrid and Inter group, that was a really interesting group. So going into the final match day, all 4 teams could have qualified. Real actually could have ended bottom, and they ended up top. So it was just one of those kind of groups. It was really amazing to watch, to be honest. I just want to say that was a beautiful day. But
I was enjoying myself.
I'm sure it was for a Real fan.
Yeah, but honestly, like going to that game, there was even talk about if they lose, Zidane is going to get fired. Like it was that bad, you know. And now actually the talk has actually veered towards saying that no, that wasn't the case. But Zidane actually wants to leave at the end of the season because he didn't feel like the moves he wanted in the transfer market were done, etc. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he understands that Madrid, like every other club, you know, they're building a stadium and they struggled with COVID, so they didn't have the means to sign the people they wanted to sign.
I mean, I can see Zidane doing it. Didn't he do it when Ronaldo was sold?
Yeah,
but to be honest, is he actually going to be one of those coaches that when he doesn't get his way, he just throws a hissy fit and walks away?
No, because I mean, he didn't always get his way, but he's still stuck with it, you know? And like...
yeah, but I mean, if he does it a second time, that reputation is going to stick to him.
Maybe, yeah. And so to your point, would he not do it because he doesn't want to have that reputation? Or because he actually is not interested in leaving? He has this project going.
I mean, it's not professional. If like every time you do not get what you want, you just leave. Yeah. That's, I mean...
I don't think it's
the
true.
only other coach I can think of that has that reputation, but it's seen as a positive, is Bielsa.
Mm.
But in fairness, when he quit, what was it? Napoli, was it?
No.
Or was it a French team? Lyon, maybe? I don't
Marseille.
remember. Marseille, right. Marseille. When he quit after one day because he didn't get the promise. Okay, it's one day.
Oh, no. So that was Lazio. So,
okay, Lazio.
Yeah,
there we
so
go.
he signed for Lazio, apparently. And
one day and then
literally
he quit.
one day and then...
Yeah. But but you know, the thing about him is that he's a coach that usually does his contracts on a 1-year basis.
Mm.
So even with Leeds, every year he renews at the end of the year. Yeah. Because then he uses that, if I don't get, well, my contract is up anyway. So that's fair enough. At least it's still professional.
By the way, Antonio Conte was like that in his last season.
Yeah, exactly. And he has that reputation that he's difficult.
That was the reason why he left.
I love Bielsa. He's a bit of a nutcase, but...
yeah,
I really like Bielsa. I have a lot of respect.
Which is interesting because Bielsa, the way he plays is a bit more professional with the 1-year contracts. Conte is just seen as difficult and very unprofessional.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, he's terrible in European leagues.
Yeah.
Or cups or whatever.
Yeah.
Segueing into Inter.
Seriously?
So yeah, we touched upon that in the intro. So I mean, to be honest, I am a bit surprised that they had trouble in that group. I at least expected them to finish behind Real Madrid in second place. That's how I thought they would finish.
But nobody expected Gladbach to show up the way they did.
Yeah,
true.
You know, that's the thing. And honestly, they could have done it. It was one header from Sanchez away. You saw that one that Lukaku got in the way. Haram. He couldn't do anything about it. He didn't have time to react.
I mean,
but
for everything to go wrong, and I mean, the stars were just not aligned for them that night.
I'm just really happy because like we were getting trash talked before about playing in the Europa League for the first time ever, and that would have killed me. So and then we ended up first. So
you'll get matches every Thursday. You can actually watch them.
I don't want to watch games on Thursday. I want a day off.
You'll be play against, I don't know, Dinamo.
Al-Khmar, you know. So yeah, I mean that group, that was a lovely final day because it really could have gone anyway. Seeing Gladbach, you know, celebrating at the end even though they just lost because they qualified. I mean, I felt bad for Inter because they really had it. It was right there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they let themselves go down.
Yeah.
And then they had to like claw their way back.
They
So
have
that was
themselves
always
to
going to be
blame.
tough.
Conte came out and he blamed referees and VAR, and he said, please review the last 5 matches that we played in Champions League, and you will see that VAR was against us and referees were against us. I mean,
That guy is such a sore loser.
He is. I've always been a big Antonio Conte fan. I mean, before he joined Chelsea, I was telling Chelsea fans about what he's going to do and how he's going to set them up. And it's going to. Before that, when he took over the Italian national team, I was super excited. When he joined Inter, I was actually excited for Inter fans, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be very interesting. Although I hated his guts, he burned it. Okay, I don't want to.
If he doesn't win the league this year,
but yeah, he's really gone down in my books. I can't. I don't like what comes out of his mouth. Like, he just comes out with these pathetic excuses. His behavior is just. I don't like him.
There's a really polarized.
Tactically, I like him.
Today the weather was 1 degree higher than we trained for.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, that guy. Yeah, he's just. Like I said, there's a polarized view about him. But that's usually the case with those like really outspoken coaches, right? And like I think you said it once before, and I agreed with you. Like I am a fan of his tactics.
Yeah.
I just don't like the person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just stop complaining.
His treatment of Eriksen is just shameful. I mean, you have a gifted player like that, a talented player like that.
Speaking about difficult coaches, and I think this is the key difference, right? Like you were mentioning Eriksen. If Eriksen was still under Mourinho and he wasn't performing, take the example of Dele Alli, another coach that you say is difficult, right? He usually deflects from his players unless it's like, you know what, I don't care about this player anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But he usually tries to deflect from his players. Like Dele Alli is just being very, very diplomatic when he's speaking about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing very well in training, it's just that the others are better.
Yeah.
He doesn't come out and say Dele Alli is a crap player.
Because I think that's what it is. For him, Dele Alli is a bad trainer. He doesn't train well.
Yeah, and the only reason we know that is because of the documentary. He didn't actually come out and say it in any of the conferences.
But he didn't need to, because he knew that documentary is going to be seen by everyone. So he's like, well, people know, like what would I think?
Yeah, that's it.
Apparently he's back on Instagram now, Jose Mourinho, and that's like, it's
his
one of the
Instagram
best
is
Instagram
awesome.
accounts.
His Instagram is awesome. He's like the most positive person ever on Instagram.
Hilarious. He's awesome. Awesome. I think we're good. So really cool, really interesting games coming up this weekend. So obviously there's the Manchester Derby. Yeah. There's Real Atletico coming up. So cool stuff to look forward to.
There's Genoa Juventus.
Genoa, are they going to pose a challenge?
I think they might pose it. So that, like I said, I mean, after the 10 games, I think these next few games will really show whether it's a turning point in Juventus' season or not.
I do think all the teams are exhausted, though.
Yeah,
they're exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
It's been an exceptional year. So
yeah.
I mean, the preparations were interrupted, COVID, all that.
Congratulations on the vaccine, guys.
Yeah.
Are they going to be giving that to players as like a standard? Probably.
I think it depends on the country, no?
Yeah, maybe. Or if they accept it or not.
Yeah,
Are they going to have microchips in those vaccines?
Conspiracy theories. Right. Separate.
Let's get Alex Jones on the next episode and we can discuss that in more detail.
Let's get him on. It was great being back, guys. It's been a couple of while. Let's hope we don't have to have another break. We'll be back very soon. Thank you all for listening in. Thanks, guys, for joining once again.
Thanks,
Yehia, thanks for hosting us.
You're welcome.
Your cat, really
desperate to escape.
I didn't sneeze. Thank you.
Yeah, because the cat is away right now.
Thank you all for listening in. We'll be back very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.